Get ready to re-enter the beautiful and chaotic world of New Seek in this exciting sequel to one of my personal favorite Otome games, Bustafellows. Welcome to Otome Gaming. This is a review of Bustafellows Season 2 for the Nintendo Switch. Just like the name implies, this is a sequel to the Otome game Bustafellows that originally released back in 2019. If you haven't played the first game, then I don't recommend starting Bustafellows Season 2 until you do, because Season 2 picks up right after the first game's true ending and will not recap you on the events you've already played through. You can check out my review for the first game if you're still on the fence about picking it up. As always, I try my best to avoid any major story spoilers and instead give you a feel for the general vibe of the game, only showing footage from the first chapter/common route. As soon as you start a new game, you'll be prompted by the anima system to enter your character's name, the default being Tata. You'll then have to choose the name of your pet cat from 5 different options. If you don't remember, in the first game, there's a cute little street cat that ends up following Tata home when she moves into Scarecrow's share house where all the love interests live. Early on in the game, each love interest suggested a name for the cat, and whichever name the cat ended up with indicated whose route you were heading towards. Once you choose the cat's name, you'll begin the associated love interest's unique story route. Bustafellows Season 2 wastes no time getting straight into the action, with the story picking up right after the dramatic and often tragic events of the first game. As Tata, you'll be coping with the aftermath of the previous game's events and all the emotional baggage one would expect said events to come with, as well as dealing with the new conflicts specific to each love interest route and navigating the ups and downs of being in a relationship. Each route expands on the character's stories, truly feeling like a sequel and not just an excuse for fan service like most Otome fan discs are. That's not saying anything bad about those types of games, but I want you to know what you're getting into. And although romance is a part of this game, just like the first Bustafellows game, and honestly maybe even a bit more, the plot and what most would consider sensitive political discussions and themes takes the forefront in the game's priority list. And just like the first game, Season 2 is a noir crime drama. And as such, you should expect to be confronted with themes such as moral ambiguity, cynicism, fatalism, and the corruption that exists under the facade of polite society. There's a reason the games are rated mature, and these ratings should not be taken lightly. General violence, police violence, immigration politics, strong language, references to sexual assault, human and drug trafficking, as well as depictions of weapons such as guns, portrayals of blood, death, and injury are just some of the topics and themes that will show up. Please be aware of any personal triggers and take into consideration if these topics and themes are going to negatively affect you when playing the game. Just like the first game, I enjoyed each route story for its lovable, flawed characters. And again, just like the first game, although I wasn't fully on board with each character as a romantic interest, I still enjoyed seeing new sides to each of them. Bustafellows truly shines when all 6 of our main characters are together. Their playful banter and found family dynamics once again are my favorite thing about Bustafellows storytelling.
僕らは自分の部屋に帰るけど、スキアクロウはどうするの？
え？俺？誰か止めてくれるんじゃないの？いやだっていつも俺ん家に泊まってんじゃん。
そもそも俺はモーテルだしな。
モーテルでもいいよ。止めてよ、一晩くらい。
ホテル取れば。
Tata continues to be a top-notch protagonist with a dynamic personality and strong emotional core. Just like the first game, she is not a passive onlooker and continues to be a true driving force that holds her own alongside the male leads. The fact that she is voice acted by the incredibly talented Yui Kondo just makes her character even more engaging and interesting to follow.
私ね、アダムとルカに会いたいよ。コメントありがとうを言いたい。元に戻りたい。二人に会いたい。会いたいよ。
それでいい。
A lot of fan discs will add in new romance routes for popular side characters from the first game, but Bustafellows does something totally different, which is they make a point to introduce 3 new characters that are undateable. I wasn't particularly bothered by this, but I know there will be some fans out there who saw the game's trailer and assumed that these would be 3 new dateable character routes. Spoiler, they're not. But who knows, with the game's mildly open-ended ending that makes me think we'll be getting a Season 3 at some point, maybe we will be able to date some new characters one day. But for now, the game has 5 routes, one for each love interest, and then a final epilogue, where you get to choose which love interest is your boyfriend for this final route. Because of this, it might be better to save your favorite character for last, but feel free to play in whatever order you want. Moving backgrounds, multiple sprite angles, and gorgeous cutscene graphics are all back, and I couldn't be happier about it. The game continues with its cinematic pacing that's reminiscent of cop shows you'd find on daytime TV, giving it a truly unique quality compared to other games in the genre. The dynamic immersive sound, which was one of my favorite things about the first game, is also still present in Season 2. I won't gush about it too much this time, but I just want to reiterate how high quality it makes the game feel when you're playing it. Unfortunately, just like in the first game, the ambient background conversation that goes unsubtitled may cause some annoyance for players who don't understand Japanese. But just like in the first game, you can find the translation for this dialogue in the text log.
ねえ、まあ、事務所も人が増えましたからね。
7年前というと君はまだ学生だったか。
Also, this has nothing to do with visuals and sound, but I had nowhere else to throw it in, so warning, the timed responses also make a comeback in this game, even though I personally wish they hadn't. The story is already stressful enough without them. Like I said before, there are moments of unsubtitled dialogue in-game. This could be considered a fault of the game's design and not the translation team. However, with other games on the market featuring subtitled dialogue during menu transitions, it makes me wonder if this is something the team could have implemented for the English version of the game. And again, just a reminder that you can go into the text log and read what was said during in-game dialogue. You are, however, out of luck when characters chat while you peruse the home screen and move between the different menu options. For the most part, the translation was good, with just a few typos here and there. However, there were some script decisions that I personally didn't agree with. For instance, using a character's name when another character is calling them by a nickname. Scarecrow's short and named Crow was a big offender for this one, but I also noticed that Limbo would call his sister Nee-san, which means sister or sis in Japanese, and the script would again just use her name Valerie.
姉さんの紹介のセラピストって二人で察しておくべきだったな。
Things like this can really affect how a character's personality comes across, and for the readers who don't know the difference when hearing the Japanese dialogue, I feel like it can be a disservice to them. But that's a personal gripe I have as someone who has studied and lived in Japan in the past. For better or worse, Bustafellows Season 2 feels like a true sequel and not just a fan disc. With new secrets to uncover and some romantic moments to be had with your favorite love interests, it's not perfect, but returning fans should enjoy this new installment to the series. Otome Gaming gives Bustafellows Season 2 a final rating of 3.8 out of 5. Bustafellows Season 2 has an ESRB rating of M for mature. For more trigger warning details, please see the official ESRB link in the description.